A recent MIT study measured exactly how much of our daily work is already automatable right now. The number is 11.7%. That isn't a projection for the end of the decade. That is a measurement of current technical capability. Typing a single request into a text box and waiting for a paragraph in return is no longer the standard. The professional baseline has moved toward designing continuous, multi-step workflows. The assumption that AI is simply a chatbot living on your screen misses the actual landscape. We are dealing with 7 separate operational domains: text, data, images, video, voice, code, and automation. Moving from a casual user to an operator who actually controls these systems requires a strict structural protocol. It is called the ADAPT framework, and it moves through 5 sequential stages: acknowledge, dabble, amplify, problem solve, and tie together. Mastering this specific progression dictates who builds the kind of leverage that scales a business. Stage 1 is acknowledge. You have to accept that the skills required for the future are different from the ones that got you here. This is an identity shift. You are committing to learning a new technical language. The performance gap seen in the market today results from a 24-month lead in adoption, rather than a difference in inherent talent or intelligence. That mapping happens in stage 2, Dabble. This phase is intentionally chaotic. You are not trying to become an expert in any single interface. Your objective is broad exposure, training your brain to understand what is actually possible. You test tools rapidly across domains. Use Perplexity to parse research sources. Switch to Gamma for structural slides. You build a mental capability catalog. This is where many users plateau. When applications are treated as isolated tools, they create a fractured workflow where each new addition increases manual friction rather than reducing it. Exploring 30 different applications yields no compound business value if you never learn how to stitch them together into a functional pipeline. That brings us to stage 3, amplify. You stop hopping between random applications. You select 3 to 5 core tools relevant to your specific work, and you push them to their absolute operational failure limits. To actually control these tools, you have to master 4 architectural protocols. The first is the system prompt. This is your foundational instruction set, locking in persona, rules, and guardrails. Protocol 2 is RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. Generic models hallucinate, pulling answers from the noise of the open internet. RAG forces the model to formulate answers strictly from an uploaded proprietary local database. Protocol 3 is MCP, or Model Context Protocol. An AI locked inside a chat interface lacks execution rights. MCP acts as the USB port, creating a connection layer allowing the AI to execute actions inside external environments. The fourth protocol is fine-tuning. This is the process of training a generalized model to perform one specific, repeated task with high accuracy. These 4 protocols convert an unpredictable chatbot into a specialized, controllable system component. With those protocols in place, you enter stage 4, problem solve. The core rule here is that you shift your focus from isolated tools to connected pipelines.
Real business solutions require 5 or 6 AI nodes working together, with human judgment positioned strictly as the central routing mechanism. Let's look at how this architecture applies to a high-volume creative marketing pipeline. In the first phase, you feed a single product photo into a visual generation node, outputting 50 distinct variations. In parallel, a separate language node synthesizes dozens of paired headline and body copy variations. Phase 3 is the human gate. You exercise judgment, selecting only the winning combinations. Those approved assets then flow into an automated assembly node, compiling and pushing creatives directly into live advertising platforms. Finally, an analytical node monitors performance, identifies the highest converting variations, and routes that data back to the start of the pipeline for the next generation cycle. This specific architecture replaces weeks of manual agency friction with a continuous single-day automated testing loop.
We can apply this same architectural thinking to a completely different domain, deploying a medical voice agent infrastructure to handle live clinic call volume. Step 1 establishes the system prompt, the trunk of the logic tree defining the agent's persona and rules. Step 2 incorporates regional language nodes, preventing robotic inflection and eliminating translation latency. Step 3 applies the MCP protocol. This gives the voice agent direct write access to the clinic's internal calendar system, allowing it to book appointments in real time. Step 4 introduces conditional logic triggers. If the agent detects specific complaint keywords, the data flow instantly bypasses the AI and routes the caller directly to a human operator, passing along all the context. This architecture handles 70% of incoming call volume autonomously, 24 hours a day with a sub-second response time. The financial leverage in this case study is a direct result of the MCP protocol and routing logic. The voice generation tool is merely the interface for a larger, integrated system. This leads to the final milestone, Stage 5, tie together. This is the phase where you cease direct tool manipulation entirely. You transition into a digital chief of staff architecture. Multiple specialized AI nodes operate continuously in the background, executing tasks without waiting for a manual prompt. In practice, this means waking up to an inbox that is already parsed, draft replies ready for review, and scheduling conflicts resolved before you even intervene. The output delta is significant. A single orchestrator operating at Stage 5 outproduces an entire 10-person team stuck at Stage 2 by an order of magnitude. As this landscape accelerates, two governing rules remain constant. First, the machine generates, but the human programs the intent. The instruction set will always remain a strictly human imperative. Second, clear structural thinking and precise briefing mechanics are more valuable than memorizing the layout of a software interface. Utilizing AI is rapidly becoming the professional baseline. The true, lasting competitive edge belongs exclusively to those who master system architecture and workflow design.